This is the Ask Faleskini podcast, where the modern economy is discussed from a skeptic's perspective. Mr. Faleskini helps you distinguish what is sustainable in our economy and what isn't. Not everything that glitters is gold, and not all mud is dirty. The podcaster Mr. Faleskini provides no-nonsense advice. He had it all, lost it all, went bankrupt multiple times, and is now attempting to come back from zero with sustainable growth. There are numerous coaches and preachers on the internet that preach about positive thinking and how life is all roses if you just care to see it that way. Well, Mr. Faleskini is definitely not one of them. We recommend you ask Faleskini to keep it real. He discusses the darker side of the current economic reality, the side that's more important for your personal and business finance. His first intention is to help you keep what you already have. Not to be a complete party pooper, Mr. Faleskini will also hint at the earning opportunities in the economy today. In order to please the almighty algorithm, please like, share, and subscribe. And now it's time to start taking notes. The mic goes to the podcaster, the one and only Mr. Faleskini.
Thank you, Taylor. For a very long time, the mainstream business narrative is trying to convince us that the single most important skill of any business person is to identify opportunities and then take advantage of them. My experience taught me completely the opposite. I believe that the ability to identify and avoid traps and pitfalls is the single most important skill of any entrepreneur. That is also the reason why I will dedicate this whole podcast to time wasters, because they are literally the most terrible thing that can happen to you in business. You lose your money because you cannot do business while you are spending time with time wasters. Then because you are wasting time in business, you need to find more time for your business to make money. And then you spend less time with your family. And this seriously degrades the quality of your life. Identifying time wasters is the most important skill that will take you from average to highly effective business person, and also a very useful utilization of positive discrimination in business. Let's dig right into the theory of time wasters. The dictionary defined time waster as someone who causes another person to waste time doing something that does not achieve any good result. My comment would be, it's all about intention. Does person have serious intention to make business with you? If it doesn't, it's a clear indication that you are dealing with time waster. My decades-long experience show that identifying time waster is the easiest if we check the following criteria. Namely, numbers. Time wasters usually use numbers that are too low or too high for the industry. When they're offering investments or similar, they're offering the returns that are way too high for the industry standards. And usually their numbers do not make sense. It's just illogical how they put the numbers together. So to recap, they are either long shots or just low balling. And that is the sound indicator of time wasters. Their documents are based on freely available templates. Either they are overcomplicated or they just miss a really important document, for example, that is a norm in certain kind of business. We can also identify time wasters with channels of communication. What is really common with time wasters is that they will meet you on one channel and they will try to convince you to switch your communication channel. For example, my most common experiences and in the recent time is when person reaches me on LinkedIn and then asks me to go chat on Telegram, WhatsApp, and Viber. If that is the case, or if they say, please give me your email address, I will send you something, I know immediately that it's all about time wasters. I just say, thank you, I can't go to another channel, let's stop here. What is also a clear indication of a time waster is their tone. Often it starts like being really cheesy, and then they will become more and more pushy when they see that they cannot push you into something fast or they cannot get free info from you. They will become really pushy. and they will claim, I cannot buy something of you if I don't know this and that. So they will try to extort you into doing something that you don't want to do. Important indicator that I found out that it's also really often with time wasters is their lingo. There are two extremes. They don't understand basic terms that are used in certain kind of or branch of business, or they're trying too hard to use business lingo. And you can see they are not accustomed to it. What is also a clear indication of time wasters is the desire to jump ranks. For example, if you have a person in charge of a purchase department, and if they are in charge to make purchases, the time wasters will just try to bypass them and go directly to the board member. That is a clear indication of time wasters. They don't understand ranks in your company, so they would just like to skip the rank and get directly to the highest person they can reach. On the other side, really clear indication is also lack of commitment. They are not eager to sign broker agreement. They are not eager to sign fee protection agreement. They are not eager to sign non-disclosure agreement. All this is a clear indication that they are not there to do business. They are there to waste your time. Especially common with Asian companies. They would like to have as much info from you. They would also like to get you to purchase something, to make an initial purchase. However, they would not commit in any way, shape, or form that you get, exclusive deal for a certain area or at least more favorable payment terms. So now when you're in the process, we know how to identify time wasters, or at least 80% of them. What I would like to stress is that time wasters come in different shapes, forms, and different functions. For example, most of the people do not understand that time wasters can be your employees, can be your suppliers, can be your clients, can be your investors, can be members of local community, can be different charity organizations. They all can be time wasters. If they're not kept in check, if they don't have really limited time that they can use with you, they will try to use your time for different discussions, for different things, just to get information of you or just to be involved with you because you're nice and similar. And now the most important part of the theory and practical cases of time wasters is to understand why time wasters are so dangerous. Because there are so many time wasters in business, and they will steal your focus and time. If you dedicate your time to time wasters, you will not be able to dedicate your time to employees. You will not be able to dedicate your time to suppliers. You will not be able to do your core business because you are just dealing with time wasters. And this will result in lower productivity, much more time spent, less money earned per hour. And then it will also affect how much time you spend in your business or at your job instead of with your family. So time wasters are extremely important, and they need to be identified if you want to keep your business profitable, and if you want to keep your working hour manageable, and if you want to keep your work and private life balance. So it is extremely important that you identify time wasters as soon as possible. And even if you get involved with them, you need to stop and just disable them from using your time. Due to extreme fast development of artificial intelligence and similar systems, time wasters now come also not as a human, but also as an automatic systems that will waste your time as much as you will let them. They are often in a form of spam emails, spam calls that are not operated by people, but by the machines. There are a lot of chat bots that are installed that will reply to your initial inquiries and similar. You should really pay attention to all these machine like time wasters, because they will waste as much time as physical persons or as individuals, and the result will be the same. You will not gain anything of dealing with them. So you have to minimize your interaction with every machine that is not there to increase your productivity. Before I conclude this theory section, I would like to stress one thing. You should pay close attention that you don't mistake indecisive potential client, indecisive potential investor for time wasters. They might just need a lot more time than another client to decide on a purchase. However, you have to set a time limit even for these potential clients, because if you have alternative client that you could serve in a less time with shorter decision-making process, just go to this alternative client, and in a certain time, you have to start treating indecisive potential client as a time waster. How you do that, it's all about experiences. It's a lot of trial and error, and you will learn it with time. If you start identifying time wasters, you will become really good in, I think, couple of weeks. If you use all the measures in your company for identifying time wasters, in a couple of weeks, there should be huge improvement in productivity, in also in return on investment, because the time wasters will take much less time of your employees. So also employees will be much more productive, and the whole company will be able to produce more or produce the same in less time. And that will increase quality of life to all people involved. As always, there's an opportunity in every danger. Allow me to present business opportunities connected with time wasters. The first and the most obvious opportunity is that you get competitive edge by becoming really good, like the top 1% in identifying time wasters. These will improve your productivity and productivity of your coworkers beyond any competitor, because you will be able to streamline your efforts in business only into productive endeavors by focusing on the most lucrative or more sustainable customers. The second opportunity is that you turn this threat of time wasters into opportunity again. My idea was to make it absolutely necessary to purchase an item of you or a service of you as proof of serious intention to do business with you. For example, when I do treasury work, I make it absolutely necessary for potential clients to subscribe to my podcast. The monthly subscription is just $4.95 a month. And if they do not commit to $4.95 a month, and if they don't listen to at least one of my podcasts, I don't want to work with them on any of the consulting projects. That is the fastest way to make people commit. And if they commit, then you can be 99% sure that they are not just a time wasters, even if they are committed just like $4.95. The second, also big opportunity that was not yet used in the general public is the blacklist of time wasters. This is really important and would help a lot of industries, a lot of people, a lot of businesses to streamline their processes and start avoiding time wasters. You just prepare a compilation like a blacklist, and if one of these calls this business, they will just refuse to work with them. Or you can even blacklist their email or their telephone number so that the people in the company would not waste time with the time waster. As always, I will also hint on some opportunities for consultants. First, I believe that time wasters are one of the biggest opportunities for consultants because their effect is so devastating on every company and every business. So the most logical service that consultants should offer to businesses is to help business people prepare the vetting process that would identify time wasters. First, they would check the blacklists if they're available, and then if the time waster is able to cross or it's not on the blacklist, then they could prepare a simple questionnaire or a simple forum, what they would like to do, what's their goal, and similar that they would have to take care of. And then after that, I would also prepare so-called shit test if they get in touch with my company. A shit test is something similar to, or would be something similar to dating, when you would pose a question, an awkward question on a first date, similar I would do with time wasters or potential time wasters, and see if they have clear interest, then they could continue the conversation with the company. It is really important that consultants have the knowledge how to protect their clients' schedule and calendar from the time wasters. So the key would be for consultants to help businesses identify and then get rid of the time wasters. Let me conclude by summing up this episode. According to the dictionary, time waster is someone who causes another person to waste time doing something that does not achieve any good result. Don't forget, discrimination is essential for survival in business. You have to be able to discriminate time wasters from demanding clients. It is of strategic importance, literally do or die, that you and your business develop efficient protection, including strategies and tactics to identify and then block the time wasters. And back to Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Faleskini, for this outstanding podcast. And thank you for listening to the Ask Faleskini podcast until the end. Mr. Faleskini would love to hear your feedback in the comments. And don't forget, if you want to know, ask Faleskini or listen to the Ask Faleskini podcast. In order to please the almighty algorithm, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.